Hi, welcome to the Toolbox. I'm Tony Dethridge, Service Manager at Snorkel. Today we're going to be talking about familiarization on Snorkel slab scissors. Familiarization is defined as providing necessary information regarding the features, functions, devices, limitation, and operating characteristics as defined by the manufacturer. So let's get to it. So product familiarization requires you to understand what's going on at the ground controls. At the ground control panel we have an emergency stop switch, your up-down toggle, your platform ground select, also an enable switch. You have your platform power, charge for your battery so you can plug your charger in, and a battery disconnect switch. The battery disconnect switch is a lockable component which allows you to put a padlock on to prevent unauthorized use. Directly above that we have our data tag. So the data tag is going to provide important information such as serial number of the machine, number of occupants, platform capacities, those types of things. So that information is available right here on the data tag. From there, let's go into the operation of the machine. Operation of the machine, you have the key switch, which has a 3-position switch. Off, which means everything's turned off. On, which is in the power platform position, so you have power to the platform. And then when you go to the spring-loaded position, you are now in the ground controls position. So with the battery disconnect switch on, E-stop out, and the key switch in the on position, we now have the ability to operate the machine. Understanding the safety features of this machine is important. This machine has pothole protection. When the scissor stack is elevated, the pothole protection will deploy. As long as there's no obstruction underneath the pothole protection, the machine will be able to drive, be able to elevate to the full working height of the machine. If there's an obstruction underneath the pothole protection, elevation will still be able to happen. You'll still be able to go up, you just will not be able to drive. Drive will be the only thing that's limited. There will be no alarms, but you will not have the ability to drive. Tilt. The tilt function on this machine gives us the ability to operate on an out-of-level situation up to a certain degree. That information is available on the data tag for each model. Understanding emergency operation is another one of these critical components. You need to understand how to operate the machine in an emergency situation. In this case, the emergency lowering or the bleed down valve. This particular machine has a lever style bleed down system. Push the lever, pulls the valve open, it allows the stack down. It is critical to pay attention to kind of all of your surroundings to make sure no one has their hands, fingers, anything inside the scissor stack. Make sure that you're clear of the deck to make sure that it doesn't come down onto your head and any obstructions around you. As you prepare to enter the platform, it's best to always use 3 points of contact, utilizing the handrail, not the entry gates, as your third points. So at the platform, we have several things that you need to be aware of. We have a pendant for load control. On that pendant, you have an E-stop that must be out for all operations. Whether you're operating off of the pendant or off of the upper control box, that E-stop has to be pulled out. There is a trigger enable that has to be held in order to activate all functions. You've got a forward, a reverse, and a steer left, right. Okay, and those will be held to activate function. Coming up from that, you have the upper control box. The upper control box, you do have a GFCI 110 volt outlet, emergency stop switch for your upper controls, a horn, your 2-speed drive speed select so that when you're in a stowed position, you can actually select whether you're going to be in a fast or a slow drive speed. And then you have your drive lift select. From there, you have your joystick. The joystick does have a trigger guard. You also have steer toggle on top and an enable switch. So these are proportional controls up here. So the farther you move it, the faster you go in whatever direction. If you're in the drive select mode, forward and reverse. If you're in the up, down, down. On the front of the panel, we have a decal up here that talks about wind rating, 28 miles per hour. Talking about your load capacity within the deck. So that is important to understand for the operator. We also have danger decals up here to make sure that you understand what the operations, some of the hazards to avoid during operation. Inside the box, you have an operator's manual and a manual of responsibilities. These need to be on the machine at all times. So that does it for familiarization on this model. Please refer to your operator's manual for all safety and operation instructions. Please check back on the toolbox for more helpful content.